There were photographs and footage of Meghan in Paris. What was she wearing and why was she there?
I don't think Meghan even knows why she was there. She looked like she'd been lobotomized the entire time. She's just had this sort of blank expression on her face as she was wafting in and out of corridors in Paris. I mean, it was a surprise. No one really knew that she was going to show up there. She was dressed in sort of many neutral colours, which is hilarious because the entire time she was in the royal family, she was lamenting about the fact that she couldn't wear bright colours. But now that she's out, the only thing she can wear are sort of whites and beige. So the whole thing was a bit of a weird farce. I mean, I know we'll get on to some of the videos that she took on her Instagram earlier, but I was confused and confronted by the whole thing because this is not the I'm going to save the world Meghan that I envisioned. This is the I'm a celebrity, I'm desperate for a photo, I want to be in the limelight, I don't need privacy.
Well, this is a point I've made in the past. When she was, in the royal family, she wanted to have a voice, she wanted to speak, she wanted to talk about the big issues and claims that she was silenced. But we haven't seen much of that. We just going to the Paris fashion show. What was the reason she went there, Bronte?
So it was in support of, this is what she said, in support of, I'm going to butcher this name and I'm so sorry. I'm going to try really hard. Pier Paolo Piccioli. I'm sorry to any Italian viewers.
That sounds good.
Oh, I try. It was an effort. Anyway, he's the creative director of Balenciaga, but he previously worked for Valentino. Now, she does wear Valentino a lot and has in the past. We haven't known anything about this friendship or association prior to her turning up at Fashion Week, but apparently they're friends. And as I say, she has worn Valentino, so perhaps that's a professional friendship that existed. Look, I'm in a couple of minds. I did find the footage a little baffling because it did look, she looked a little, I don't know, out of sorts as she turned up. It was interesting. It was also her first time attending Paris Fashion Week, which is extremely high profile and prestigious.
The video opens with a bold statement. Insert core claim or hook from the video. In this breakdown, I'll walk you through each segment, analyze how the narrative is built, and test whether the claims hold up under scrutiny. Let's dive in. Before we get into the details, here's what you need to know. Insert context. Who's involved, main conflict or theme, why it's relevant now. This video frames key topic as dramatic framing, but how robust is the evidence behind that framing? That's what we'll examine. The first section introduces the core claim. State it. Notice how the narrator uses strong language, selects visuals, and sets tone to make that claim feel authoritative. But we should ask, is there direct evidence? Or is this inference disguised as fact? Here, the video presents supporting examples. List major examples cited. Each one is used to reinforce the thesis. In your narration, you'll pause and question. Are these examples given full context? Are there omitted counterexamples? Sometimes what's left unsaid is just as powerful as what's shown. In this section, notice how the editing, music, visuals, and pacing work together. They don't just show claims, they push you to feel them. The juxtaposition, reaction shots, slow motion, all of these are narrative tools. I'll highlight where the video leans more on style than substance. A strong analysis would include counterpoints, caveats, or alternate views. But often these are minimized or ignored. I'll point out what the video doesn't address: missing context, contradictory evidence, or possible alternative interpretations.
And, there were a lot of other celebrities there, but you cannot deny, for Balenciaga at least, I think they would have been very pleased because it got a lot of attention. It got so much coverage. I would be very upset if I was a celebrity that had been invited to that event because they got zero coverage. It was all about Meghan being there.
Does the Paris fashion show need attention? Does it need Meghan, or does Meghan need the Paris
That's what I mean.
fashion
I mean, I didn't see any of the collection. I feel like if I was the designer, I'd actually be quite frankly upset because none of that got coverage. It did turn into the Meghan show, as everything does.
There was a couple of videos you mentioned about earlier. I know there was one that she posted on her Instagram. I'm not going to get too excited about it, to be quite frank. She drove past, she drove through Paris and she drove past, where Princess Diana died. I'm not going to get antagonistic about that. I don't, she was just driving through and she posted a video. I can't get upset.
I think that's an innocent mistake. I don't think so.
I think it's a flagrant dismissal of Harry's trauma. I mean, if she knew anything and if she read his book, she would know just how sensitive that area of Paris is for him. I mean, there's a passage in Spare where he does talk about asking his driver to go into that tunnel at 65 miles per hour just to feel the feeling Diana felt right before the crash. And it was quite a poignant passage among some other things in that book. But he was really affected by that. And for her to put her weird feet up on the which people also have opinions about, putting feet up on the car, is really disrespectful. I mean, that's a very special area for him. And in not a good way. And I think she butchered it.
I get it. I felt it was clumsy. I just felt it was clumsy. I don't think it was deliberate, and it was a bit short-sighted rather than anything deliberate.
She should have known. She should know that stuff if she claims to love him so much.
There was another video, again, help me out with this one, where Meghan appeared to be laughing. And do we believe she was laughing apparently at a model almost falling over, or is it just, again, a misunderstood video?
It feels awkward. Of course, when you watch it, I go, I hope she wasn't. I don't know. I don't know her as a person. Maybe if she's someone who finds that funny, no one else in the audience did. With that said, maybe someone next to her had just said something. I don't know. I find it hard to imagine that at the very least, someone that is that aware of her public presence would laugh in that instance, even if she did find it, if she finds slapstick hilarious, even then, I cannot imagine that she'd be make the mistake of laughing at that point. I do think it was maybe an accident, like someone had said something near her. Because why would you do that? Why would you put yourself up to be skewered like that?
Well, slapstick is hilarious, so I'm with her on that.
You can't let people know that.
No, that's fine. Arthur, I'm sure you saw her, is it Balenciaga? Is that how I pronounce it? I'm learning everything. Yeah. Saw her dress. Is Meghan, does she remain, a fashion icon? Is she one of the most fashionable, well-dressed royals you've seen?
Black and white, she... Both dresses I saw her in one was white. And when I saw it first time, I thought it'd be too big for her. I thought we'd give her the wrong size. But then I've been reading the fashion experts in the Times, and they say, no, that's normal. That's the way it is. That's the fashion. I looked at it closely this morning, the white dress, and it is beautifully made and looks great. But for me, Balenciaga stole the show. I mean, Meghan. She must have been looked after very well to go to that because, she was sitting with Christine Scott Thomas but no one got a look in and it was all about Meghan and, good old Meghan, her show's going well, she's selling her jam and now she's selling wine. She's doing all right. It's Harry who doesn't seem to be doing much at the moment,
So there were two dresses, were there? There was black and white.
Black and white.
They were both custom designed or made by I'm going to not say the name again. Please don't make me. By the designer. So obviously that was part of the promotion and part of the overall appearance of her. I also found the timing of this interesting. As I mentioned earlier, this was her first time at Paris Fashion Week, and presumably she could have gone in the years previously, given her marriage into the royal family, etc. I found it interesting that it was now off the back of this image that she's really put out for most of the year of the mum in Montecito making jam barefoot. There's that sort of homemaker image, and now it's sort of the high fashion Meghan. And I wonder if we've used this word a lot when it comes to Meghan. I'm wondering if is this like a new slight rebrand of now we're going to see couture high fashion Meghan. Maybe she's trying, the front row of the fashion weeks. Who knows? Maybe this is going to be yet another chapter.
So I suppose is the answer to the question I posed earlier that does Meghan need Paris Fashion Show or does Paris Fashion Show need Meghan? It might be that Paris Fashion Show needs someone like Meghan.
Well, they say that a royal is worth 1.5 celebrities to a fashion show, so she seems to have proved that point anyway. I thought she was, she's who she is, and she sees an opportunity and she takes it. I think. She certainly cashed in on her fame anyway. That's my view.
She's a headline hunter, and I think that she needs Paris Fashion Week at this point. She needs to elevate her brand because it's pretty much in the toilet. Like, she looked like a loo roll herself, and her brand is also there. Genuinely, I really thought that this was very cheap and tawdry of her to go and do. And the timing is interesting because William was getting a lot of good press, and then she just crops up at Paris Fashion Week. I mean, I'm not saying those two are connected, but I'm not sure.
Because Harry wasn't there at the Fashion Week.
It's been a weird year for Harry, I think. We've not seen... I mean, I also can't imagine a world where he would happily be sitting front row next to Anna Wintour and all.
I'm unable to talk about fashion, by the way, because of the way I dress. I'm unable to dive into this. But
You look great.
Could you imagine Prince Harry at Fashion Week?
I
Would
really
that be
can't.
You wouldn't want to be
You
there.
make a good point, though. It's very interesting because it's so different to the stuff that he was doing in the UK just a couple weeks ago. You know, he was, to his credit, he was actually going and visiting charities. He was going and doing what he does best. And so there is such a sort of chasm between the two brands at the moment. I don't know if you can have your cake and eat it too with that couple, because they're completely in different worlds.
We are seeing this professional separation
Yes.
played out in the last couple of months, aren't we? With everything that Harry was doing, reconciliation with his father, and then Meghan, you know, literally on the catwalk in Paris. It's played out really, you know, tellingly last couple of weeks.